Got it.
Good evening, everyone. It's Tom Sydney Bushnell, aka Numbers, here from Psych.Club, from the Tom Numbers Show. News of Tom Numbers and top of your game. And I've got my buddy that is always at the top of his game. It's Krishan. How are you, sir?
I'm very well, thank you. Pleased to be with you, Tom.
Good to have you. Good to have you on the show. Well, we've had a good couple of weeks or a week and a half, haven't we? I came to your clear day. It's called a clear day, which is like a day retreat.
Yes.
Where we compact a lot of the high energy work that you do. And I did feel I've done it once before with you and I felt a difference, and I definitely felt a difference this time. And maybe we can talk a little bit about that and then we'll springboard from there. But it was definitely good, and I'm looking forward to the next one.
Well, thank you so much, Tom. And if people are really willing, if people are willing to evolve and expand, and if people are really willing to embody more energy and more information, and they want to show up more, and they want to have more energy and more capacity and more potential, and you can hear the word I keep using is more. If people really lean in and want more,
more.
Yeah. And okay, let's jump into here's one of my secrets. I'm sharing all my secrets with you. When anyone says I want more, what they really want is more of themselves.
Yes.
That's what we want more of, right? We say I want more energy, but then you ask what for? Well, I want to do this. Why do you want to do that? Well, it's meaningful for me. It's going to fulfill me. Yeah, it's going to fulfill you with you, right? So more is wonderful. And we're living in a time where we've got amazing tools. Like, it is possible to, we know enough about physics and spirituality and science and healthcare, and where all of those blend together to literally take a nervous system, that's this beautiful bit of software running us.
Yes.
And a bit like an iPhone, you can plug it in and you can upgrade it. So what we do is we create a very curated and safe and sacred, as a result, space where individuals who are really committed to embodying more of who they are show up together.
Yeah.
And we create a coherent field. In fact, we co-create it, actually. We all create it together. But my job is to facilitate the creation of that field and to have it created with the highest intent and the most accurate intention for that group of people's souls, who are there present in that moment. And then it's possible to help their nervous system literally embody and increase energy strategically and in a very staged, sequential, but often with quantum leaps, way throughout the day. Upshot of it is people make 3, 6, or 9 months worth of progress in a day. And when I say progress, that's progress that would take in regular visits to the practice. And bear in mind, we get good and quick results with people because, we're not trying to fix people, because we're not mechanistic beings. We're not a car. People approach health and their body and their emotions and their mind and their spirituality. They approach it a bit like a car with a flat tire, and they think, oh, if I just fix the flat tire, everything's fine, which is absolutely true for a car.
Yeah.
But we're not cars, And when something in the human body is wrong or is symptomatic, that's a wake-up call. It's saying, hey, stop and pay attention. Like something is off track. I was talking to someone today who was saying, I feel really dissatisfied. And I was telling her, you're meant to feel dissatisfied if your life is off track. We're meant to feel upset, disappointed, depressed, anxious. We're meant to feel these things if we're off track, if we're not living in alignment, if we're not growing at whatever rate is most appropriate for us. And we all know what that is and isn't. So I'm not promoting rushing, and I'm not promoting procrastinating. So what we do at a clear day, what it looks like is we get a group of people together who are really committed. We work on their spine and nervous system to literally upgrade how much energy and information they can hold. And you can measure that. Like, it's quite measurable and it's quite observable, and you can ask people's perception of it, and you can really grade it quite specifically. Now, we've been doing this for some 40 years with the techniques I use, and for much longer than that in other disciplines that I'm privileged to kind of stand on the shoulders of.
Yes.
And then we link that with some of the exercises we've been showing on the other parts of the show. And if you do that in a way that is coherent, the nervous system just leaps. It wants to leap. It wants transmutation in the most positive sense of the word wants to happen. We are hardwired to evolve and flourish. Yeah, I know I'm going a bit fast, but so it's quite difficult to put into words, and what people experience is quite, difficult to put into words because you've been there. But here's some of the offshoots of it. And this is something we were talking about earlier. I've asked thousands of people in my life, face to face, how many of you, and if you're watching this, just have a think about this. How many of you are doing things in your life currently of late that you know you shouldn't be doing, but you do anyway, right? And how many of us are doing things or avoiding doing things that we know we should be doing, but for some reason we avoid them, right? And
Yeah.
universally, it's a yes to either one or both of those questions.
Yeah.
And that happens because we get stressed. Our capacity for how much life we can handle gets smaller. And then we
Yeah.
stop making healthy choices. Our prefrontal cortex starts to switch off or it down regulates, and we make less healthy choices. Like every human being on the planet knows a Mars bar is not as healthy as an apple. Do you know what I mean? Like there is so much innate. Like our body knows. Like when you smell it, it's like, hang on, that's like wildly full of sugar and other things. And then you smell the apple, it's like, oh, my body's telling me that's healthy, right? Like we all know that water is better than Coke. I could go on and on and on with examples. A slight sidetrack, if you have a friend or family member who's sick, a lovely question is let's say they have a lung condition.
Yeah.
You could ask them, hey, if you wanted to have the healthiest lungs on the planet by this time next year, what would you do? And listen, their innate intelligence will speak. It will say, oh, well, I'd swim or I'd have a green smoothie every day, or, and make a list with them. And then, of course, the question is, when would now be a good time to start, right?
Exactly. Nice
But
Robbins phrase there. Yeah.
well,
Yeah.
it's a way of using NLP or confusing the brain, to kind of
Yeah.
break it out of a cycle. But the point is, we know we have an innate intelligence, we have an
Yeah.
inner guidance system, we have an inner voice. It's guiding us to be healthy and to flourish and to be our best self physically, emotionally, mentally, spiritually. This is what the game is, as it were.
Yeah.
And I mention this because no one likes having a doctor or a healthcare practitioner wag a finger. You should be doing this because we know, right?
Wags.
Right. We know we should be doing that stuff, or we shouldn't be doing that,
I
right? We
know.
know, right?
Yeah.
But isn't it wonderful how you get your nervous system upgraded, you get it clearer, you get more connected to yourself, and then it's like, actually, you
Yeah.
know what? I'm going to stop doing that. I'm going to start doing that. And we've all had moments like this. This is available to all human beings. When you watch a movie, this is the epiphany moment when the protagonist goes, "No, I'm going to do this." Like, no, I can't do that anymore. Enough of this. I'm taking my power back. I'm going this way. Right? It's
Yeah.
part of the hero's journey, and we all love it, right? And my point is, I'm excited. That's why I'm speaking fast. It's available to everyone, and you can make it available at will for people
Yeah.
if you supply enough energy and information, and if you get it embodied in the nervous system. So you'll hear me. My shtick is get it embodied, because I don't just want to take people and give them a jacuzzi experience in a day, right? And kind of have them experience a state of well-being here. If it's
Yeah.
ground into the nervous system, I mean, and I work very physically with the spine, okay, gently, but physically, and if the nervous system and the spine can wire this energy in, and we can observe and we can measure what energy is working at what point, based on how the nervous system is moving in a way, then we know you're going to live with it, right? Because the goal is, hopefully, we work together, and then even if we never meet again, I'd like your life to be set on that trajectory rather than
Yeah.
this one, right?
Yeah.
So that's the clear day. And we call it a clear day because it's a day clear of distractions. It's a day for you. It's a day we design for, it's like an inner space camp, right?
Yeah.
You're going to go into your inner space We're going to get that inner space energized. And then the magic happens. The inner voice comes alive. The courage to act on it comes alive. And people just start shifting the trajectory of their life.
Yeah.
And so people come because they're like, I need a shift. I need an upgrade. I need to go somewhere new. I want more of me. I want it embodied. And then we're like, okay, let's play. And then my job is to figure out how to do it. Meaning what application best meets you where you are and helps you go where you're trying to get to.
Yeah.
And then as you've discovered, well, hang on, we might change our mind about where we're going, and then you have to factor that in. That's a part of life, right? And then the other thing is that, and I'm sure you've talked about this with your audience already, is that we're at a time where people are waking up faster than ever, where people want to be awake and conscious and aligned and manifesting their life that is really, I got a thumb up when I said manifesting. That's interesting. But not just, I want to live out the life that my soul's asking me to live. And even if you're not spiritual or mystical, like just the best version, the highest ideal, surely there's got to be a better way than this, right? This is how people are thinking. People are waking up to this. And so what you experienced with that group Sunday week ago was people are really ready to expand and embody way more of who they are. And it's an exciting time to be alive, right? It's exciting to foster that, right?
That's my cold wrist laser watch. I had it on my record. I'm going to take that off now. It's amazing. I always come and see you regularly because I see I feel the progress, but I did feel a jump in the last week or so since the last clear. I've just done the numbers actually on clear day. Clear day is 69, which is people. Interesting enough. The clear day is 102, which is dimension and gravity, if I remember rightly. Yeah.
Well, and it's interesting because you were there, so you were party to some of those conversations people are having.
Yeah.
And what is amazing is that, let's say you take someone with a headache or with some kind of physical, I'll just pick something generic so I don't breach anyone's confidentiality. So the question I always ask, and this is something, again, you can ask your friends, family, loved ones, colleagues, right? Is how do you feel about how you feel? And they might be like, I've got this headache. I'm a bit worried about it.
Yeah.
You do some work with them, right? They integrate some energy. How do you feel about the headache? I'm curious about what's really going on. Different life. And then you get more energy, more information. And then you get people realize, I need this headache. This headache's got me to slow down. It's got me to pay attention. And if I didn't do that, I'd be missing all this information right now. Thank you, head, for aching at me to stop. You know what I mean? And you were there, so there have been people who've had that kind of thing. I've just modified the conversation and the context slightly just to protect people's privacy, but that happens, right? Where people are like, I need the symptom because the symptom is changing the course of my life.
Yes. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And that only happens when our energy gets embodied and our consciousness shifts. And that's really what we're after, right? A consciousness shift, but we want it embodied and we want it, so that you can see where the rubber meets the road in someone's life. And that brings us back to what we were saying with healthier choices. When the rubber meets the road, I treat myself with more, respect. Because something you said to me several videos ago was, I think you talked about my physical shape, well, it's like,
all in the light. Yeah.
I know who I am, and I know that's important to me. Now, physical health means different things to different people. So for me, with my energetic type, this is maybe something we can cover in another session. My energetic type is to literally treat my body like a temple.
Yeah.
Some other energetic types are about the movement of the body more than the structure. Some other energetic types are about the dynamic nature of the body. So more than its structure, more than its movement, its dynamic ability to adapt and change. For some other people, it's about the community that the body's in. So it means my health comes from being around people. For some people, it's about the impact my body has on the space around me. And for some people, it's about the deep intention within my body for the future of humanity. So those different people are going to use their body in very different ways.
Mm.
Point is to tune in and listen to yourself, know what honors you, and live that out.
Mm-hmm.
You know, because that's what's going to ultimately enliven your purpose, your reason for being, because it's very connected to how we ground into our body and in what style. Again, maybe we can cover that because there's a whole body of information in there. But my point is that's really what we're up to. Get embodied, get energized, wire it in, enliven your purpose, and then go live it.
Yeah, definitely. I've got a question in regards to the clear day and an observation. So energy is 74, gematria is 74, so that's the numbers that I use.
Nice.
And you said point just about a minute ago, or less than a minute. Point is also 74. But is energy, or energy is energy, comes to 102, which comes to the clear day. So, and dimension, I'm like, that's interesting. So I have a question about this. Now, I know when people come to see you and we do it, you know, through the week, and then we kind of lead up to the clear day. Are there occasions where people, or maybe an individual or two, depending on who they are, can come specifically for the clear day? Perhaps they're coming from a long distance or overseas.
So what we do,
because I have, I'll see what your answer is, because I have, and you'll see where I'm going with this. There's someone I want to bring into this.
Okay.
That could be very impactful in what you and me do, because it's someone I know very well and is in this arena. I've already mentioned him to you, you to him. So yeah.
So thank you. First of all, I appreciate that. I appreciate the referral and I appreciate the trust people put in me. So thank you. So what we need to have is my experience is there's no point in throwing someone into a clear day. That's why I started with if someone's willing.
Yes.
You go back to if someone's willing, if someone's leaning in. So there's a couple of ways we assess that. We want to make sure that the nervous system has a degree of safety first.
Yes.
Safety and embodiment, because if we're going to be wiring it up with more energy and information, we want to make sure, you know, that we're not going to blow the system, because, you know, to quote Spider-Man, with great power comes great responsibility, right?
True.
We want to make sure it's going to be sustainable in someone's life, you know, because when they leave, they've got to go and live with this thing, right? So typically we see people in practice first, because I want to make sure that breath wave, so not just, but that wave of energy goes through the spine to the top and all the way back.
Yes.
Once we have that in place, we know people are ready for the clear day, because their nervous system will be ready to expand. It will be hungry and ready for more, and then we'll be able to serve them.
Okay.
So meaning I'd like to see someone in practice, ideally at least once before, assess their level of safety and readiness. And as soon as they're safe and ready, it's like, okay, you know, the next clear day is, and then off we go.
Well, I'm gonna announce the invitation publicly, because he already knows a bit about it. But so there's a guy that I do shows with called Mark Atwood.
Okay.
And he's
my name rings a bell. Yeah.
Yeah, you probably have heard of him.
Yeah.
But Mark is very into a lot of these disciplines in terms of health, and he has an infrared sauna. He has a hyperbaric chamber. He's got this. He's English, but he lives in Ireland. Okay. And he's setting up. That's one of Mark's big things. He's a great marketer and he's a truther, and he's trying his best to help people and you know, expand the consciousness of the world that we're in. Anyway, I spoke to him on a phone call while we were in practice at the clear day, and I told him about it. And anyway, so Mark, I'm going to send you this video, and I'm going to invite you. See if you can come on 7th of April.
It is
maybe Mark, come over a few days before.
Yep.
And meet with Krishan and do a few sessions. Anyway, I'm putting it out there because I think there could be. I just feel I should put it out there.
I think that Mark knows a couple of friends of mine called Kat and Malcolm. And Malcolm and Kat, I think, have been on his show, if I'm remembering properly. And they make the pods. They make the VS4 pod units, and I believe he has
the quantum ones. Yeah,
quantum pod.
Yes, I know. Yeah, he connected me to them. So that's a good reminder. And AJ knows them obviously as well. Yeah, that's it.
So here's the amazing thing. So I have those pods in my lounge just next door. I have a pod in the room when I work. I don't know if you've noticed, but I have a little micro.
I've seen it. Yeah, I've seen it. Like a piece of Star Wars kit just sat there. Yeah.
Malcolm and Kat both receive the type of work that I do, and we do other clear days together.
Yeah. Okay.
So that's,
well, I feel like I should complete the circle and invite, because the thing is, the audience will know Mark as well, so they'll be like, "Yeah, get Mark." So, Mark, I'm going to send this to you, buddy.
Okay.
You might see it anyway, but I'm going to, and Mark loves to be mentioned on the show. So
who doesn't?
And he'll crack. I know, and he'll crack a joke, and he'll Anyway, so you're aware of Mark and Malcolm and his partner are aware. Yeah. So let's. Okay, so I'm glad I've mentioned that. And Mark, get yourself over. Come back over to the homeland. He does it quite often anyway.
Okay.
Get yourself in with Krishan and see if you can maybe get on this clear day, because I know he would personally really love it.
Wonderful.
And I think it would. Because we're creating, so I think it's important to get this message out, and I think it would just amplify the message.
And also, you've touched on something really important, because this is why we're doing this, not just this show here, but this is why, and this might be a nice tale to close with, this is why we do what we do in practice. Like, it is time for more people to upgrade the energy that's running their nervous system.
Yeah.
So that they can listen to their inner voice more clearly and have the courage to act on it, so that we consciously and collectively create a different future. Like, that is what the time is about. You know, it is for the people, by the people, empowering the people to create something better. And my privilege is I've just had amazing teachers and, show me these tools and these ways of working. And also, it's just who I am and what, my role in the gig and why I'm here, and that's the other thing is, get embodied and know who you are and why you're here and why you're not here. That's, know the nature of who you are, because then you can live it out. Yeah. So that's really what we're about. It's helping people upgrade and connect with who they are, but have more tools and power to then express that into the world, so that we create a different future.
Exactly. Well said. And you do what you do. Great.
Yeah.
You're the perfect one for doing it. So
that's very kind of you, Tom.
Yeah. So, well, that's a lovely way to wrap up. And watch this space. Maybe we'll get Mark on one of the shows or something like that. I would
love to talk to Mark. As I said, we have friends in common already. And I think the other thing is just for people to remember that their inner voice is their most accurate guidance system. Yes. And I say that because one of the biggest intention I have is just to connect their inner voice with just a greater energy source, because then it will amplify, and also the quality of the inner voice improves.
Yeah.
Inner voice quality can improve, right? And then if we can have the courage to live that out, to think it, to speak it, and then to do it and to manifest it. Hey ho.
Hey ho. Hey ho.
Hey ho.
Hey ho. Brilliant. All right, my friend. Well, I will see you soon. It's been very enjoyable again to connect tonight on the show.
Yeah. Thank you for having me again.
And I'm looking forward to next month, but looking forward to the rest of this month, because I'll be in a few times to see you.
I'm looking forward to it. And as ever, questions, queries, let me know what they are, because I love
it. Krishan's email and links and web link and his YouTube will all be in the description, so you can go in and get in contact with him and pick his brain.
Yeah. Perfect. Yeah, please do.
All right. Good stuff. All right, buddy. God bless you. I will see you soon.
Bless you. Take care.
Thanks,
bye now.
Krishan. Take care, man. Bye.